whole time I'm driving, you know what I'm thinking about? Gina put a hand over her mouth and whispered to the waiter. I ordered sugar on the rim, Jose, not salt. What, Mimi? Nina Ferguson said. What are you thinking about? Car wrecks. Car wrecks? Gina took the first sip of her second margarita. Y'all live off of 412 just west of Sonora? I'm out that way all the time, never see any wrecks. I never see any real wrecks either, but I can't stop thinking about them, Mimi said. Gina snorted and glanced back at the rest of the table. Nobody returned her gaze. Whitney Blackburn said, I see gas fires everywhere. Anytime we go to the pool, Trish Jameson said, a beige bra strap peeking out from under the sleeve of her burgundy blouse, I count beats in my head. You know, like for CPR? 30 chest compressions, then 2 breaths. The compressions time up with that song, Staying Alive. The Bee Gees? Chest compressions? Gina stirred her drink and sucked from the straw at the same time. The hell's all this about? Postpartum anxiety affects close to 90% of new mothers, Mimi said, pulling statistics from the 3 a.m. Google searches she used to fill the time between Tuck's feedings. For me, it's worse at night, especially if Luke's not home. Right before I fall asleep, my mind starts racing through a checklist of horrible stuff. Carbon monoxide poisoning, SIDS, anaphylactic reactions. It's like I have OCD. I was diagnosed with OCD when I was 12, Lily Taylor said. And now I have a 3-month-old daughter. Mimi said, I'm so sorry, and leaned back in her chair far enough that the waiter could place a basket of chips and 6 small bowls of salsa on the table. Each one of you has your own story to tell, and that's why I called you. That's why I wanted us to get together. Something outside of Bunko or Junior League. Something where it was just us new moms. I thought if we talked about all the crazy crap in our heads, then maybe we'd feel a little better. A chip crunched loud enough for Mimi to hear it over the ranchera music and the soccer game. Gina took another bite, chewing as she said, You know I got 3 boys, Mimi. Shit. Blaine just turned 9. Mimi said, Yeah, but Dax is still in diapers, right? I thought, Oh, now I get it. Thought you'd get old Gin in your little club. Let her tell the girls everything'll get easier. It all works out eventually. That it? Mimi studied Gina, her inverted bob hairdo, shorter in the back than it was in the front, the 40-something mother of 3 going for the youthful, edgy look. Maybe Mimi had made a mistake. Maybe this whole idea was bullshit, just like her husband Luke had said. The same thing he'd said when she'd come home with the Xanax prescription. Luke. What was she thinking leaving Tucker, her 6-month-old baby boy, home alone with Luke? All he ever thought about was that stinking chicken plant. That's how it always started. Mimi could be doing fine, making it through another day with Tuck, this whole new life she knew nothing about, and then, in the very next instant, she might notice a warning label on a jar of peanut butter, or read a childhood cancer post on Facebook. One thought led to another, then another, and before long, Mimi was gone. It felt like going over a big hill too fast, or driving through a storm and the tires slip, 2 tons of metal floating down the interstate and nothing can stop it. Mimi pushed back and stood. No, she said, answering Gina's question without looking at her. That's not it. This is something different. Something worse. Mimi waited, hoping one of the other women would stop her. No such luck. They were all leaned forward on their elbows, eyes sleepover wide. Just last month, Mimi had come there to confess, to get the bad stuff out, and this was the worst of it. I was driving through the Bobby Hopper tunnel. Tuck was in the back, in his car seat, asleep. He wasn't asleep. He was screaming like he always did when his refluxes flared. The sound he made, it was like a goat bleeding. It split Mimi in 2, separated the woman she'd been from the woman she was. Only a mother could withstand such torture. She should have pulled over. She should have stopped. I could hear him breathing, making this wet, sucking sound, when the wheel started to turn toward the wall and... Gina slapped the table. Chips rattled free of the basket. Drinks spilled. It don't get any easier. Gina paused long enough for Mimi to realize the woman had saved her.